Sidney Prescott will finally be returning in Scream 7, but the character's new story risks creating a huge plot hole after Ghostface's last 9-kill attack. Despite being the main character of the franchise, Sidney Prescott was absent from Scream 6, with this being due to real-world salary disputes between actress Neve Campbell and the studio. Despite this, Campbell has agreed to return in the franchise's next slasher movie, putting Sidney Prescott back in the limelight. Scream 6 managed to explain Sidney's absence, but Scream 7 will have to undo this, with this choice being a massive story risk. Scream 7 is on the way, with the film now officially in development. Although Scream 7 was initially meant to continue the story of Scream 6, various behind-the-scenes issues led to the film getting a creative reset, with the newly announced sequel going in an entirely new direction. Although most of Scream VI's cast has declined to return, Neve Campbell's Sidney Prescott is officially back in Scream 7, bringing the horror franchise back to its roots. Not much else is known about the story of the film, but this one detail creates a plethora of problems for the upcoming sequel. Scream VI's Sidney absence explanation was the perfect solution for the character. Due to Neve Campbell not returning for Scream 6, the film decided to shift focus and completely focus on the younger cast of characters that were introduced in Scream V, with Jenna Ortega's Tar Carpenter and Melissa Barrera's Sam Carpenter being the focus of the film. This worked for Scream 6, as these characters were praised upon their Scream V introduction, leaving the film with only one problem: explaining Sidney's absence. Luckily, the story justification for Sidney Prescott's character was the perfect solution for the character, even if the reasons for Neve Campbell's absence were sad. During the events of Scream 6, Gale Weathers explains Sidney's absence, with her saying that Sidney and her family skipped town after discovering that Ghostface was back. Sidney's family was in a remote location hiding out until the most recent wave of Ghostface attacks died down, and this explanation actually worked perfectly. After surviving 5 Ghostface attacks, it only made sense for Sidney to finally leave Woodsboro when the next Ghostface reared his masked head. Frankly, she should have done this a lot earlier, but it is better late than never in Scream 6. Sidney's Scream 7 return goes against Scream VI's explanation for her absence. Neve Campbell's Sidney Prescott in a doorway wielding a gun in Scream 2022. Sidney Prescott will be back in Scream 7. And since Ghostface will undoubtedly be back as well, the character's Scream 7 return entirely goes against Scream VI's explanation for her absence. Going into hiding obviously worked for Sidney, as Ghostface never found her in the film. Having Sidney face off against Ghostface again means that she didn't go into hiding this time around, which wouldn't make sense considering that she made this brilliant choice in the previous film. Having Sidney not go into hiding again makes the character seem a lot weaker, as a dumb decision like this makes even less sense in the face of it working just a few years prior. Although it was already a bad idea to not go into hiding after the first Scream, pointing out that this plan has worked in the past will make audiences question why she isn't doing it again. Scream 6 came up with a simple and brilliant explanation for why Sidney was gone, and Scream 7 is completely destroying it.